Well, hello, we are back, and I have figured out how to make our foot pedals. They're actually just like I had assumed. They're, well, you know what? Well, let's just make it. It'll be easier than me trying to explain to you what I seen here. And I hate the look. I love just doing things freestyle, but I literally don't want to give you guys the wrong advice or make you set it up wrong for your game. So I figured this was the better play. Hopefully you agree. Alright, well, let's get started. I just made a little block there. It's going to make something like this, okay? Alright, and then we will just move myself a little bit. I'm in a bad spot. Shift D it. And shrink it. And grow it taller. And then shrink it. And then grow it taller. A few times probably. Like that. Okay. So, let's just not do anything with this yet, but just kind of get it sitting there. And so, from what I'm seeing, the pedal will lean on this on an angle, kind of like a gas pedal on a car, but it's on directly on the floor and not the firewall in front of you. So it's more directly under your feet. And it's not actually a gas pedal here. It's going to be rudder left right, which is going to turn your flaps left or right. Just for you know what we're doing, and it makes a little more sense as we're doing it, right? But let's just give this just a hairstyle. Let's go to edit mode. I just want this to look a little more machined and less unnatural, I guess. Control B. And I'll just add a few bevels. Something like that's probably alright. Don't need much, just to give it some sort of look, right? So we'll Shift D this piece again. And we'll shrink that down. And we're going to change the shape of it a little bit, because this is going to become our gas, or not our gas pedal, our rudder pedal left and our rudder pedal right. If I said that right. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make one, and we'll get it all in position that we want to have it in, and then we'll just copy it and move the second one over. And it should make sense for you in a couple minutes here. Alright, something like this, and then we're going to have to figure out what the angle is. So it's the opposite of that, so probably minus 10. That looks about right, actually, so maybe we'll go to this one. And we'll just shrink that guy a little bit. So we're going to need that to go down as the pedal goes down. So if you want, you could go ahead and drive a hole underneath of it just by Shift D and drag this down. Right? And when you're happy with it, bool out the shape. Okay? And then there's literally a hole it goes into, but it really doesn't matter that much, to be honest. You're not going to be able to see under your pedals during the game, during gameplay, right? So I'm just going to delete that one, and we'll just leave this. But I just wanted to show you in case you want to do it. You can do it the other way. Now, if you want, you can also add just a bit of texture to this. If you want to hit I, you could put it inlay. Just don't go too far. You'll see when it starts breaking, and you don't want to go that far. And you could go down and make it all lean in like that. Go up and make it all lean up like that, but I don't think I'd do either. If I was going to do anything, I could probably Control B and just bevel it like that. But even that's going to break it, so I feel like that's pretty good look. We don't really need it, but again, I just thought I'd show you in case you want to add more style, or you have a different idea of how you want to do it. Maybe that'll help you. I just copied it. I'm just going to slide it over. We just need one on one side, one on the other. Something like this. We're going to move this one back over a little bit too, because we want it to be as close as we can to this edge to give them a gap in between, basically. Now you probably want these pedals to move, but I don't know exactly what your plans are for it. But what I would do is I'd probably just attach them for now, because again, there's probably a there's a great chance you're not going to be looking at your pedals while you're steering your plane, so it's not going to matter that they actually move. But just to move them over, I'd attach them either way. Okay, and then judging by the size of the seat, you can see they're a little big, but we just want to make them a little big, and then we'll shrink them to the right size. Okay, so maybe we'll go a little bit this way, see how that looks. And we could shrink the pedals themselves, keep in mind, okay? Oops, something like this. Okay, so that's pretty much looking like what you're going to see in a plane for your rudders, for your front and, or sorry, for your left and right. And it may look just a hair different, but this is the idea, and I think you get the idea. So let's set it somewhere in there like this. Maybe you want to make a little gap for them, but I think they fit just perfect, actually, so I'd do that for now. Now we have our foot controls. Alright, pretty good, looking pretty good. Probably want to go next is we need some sort of steering wheel, so let's think of a clever way to do that. I think I might have one, so let's try it. Made a cube, gonna drag it up. I'm just gonna make it a little bigger while I'm working on it, just for it's a little easier to work on. Go to edit mode, we're gonna hit Control R. And again, I didn't think this out. Like, I just like to do things live, so if I don't get it perfect the first time, try to understand that. And maybe I should, but I feel like making mistakes is crucial. Especially if you're new at Blender, you're gonna feel like only you're messing up quite a bit and everybody else is doing all this great stuff. And I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to realize everybody makes mistakes. I don't know if I'm going to need this one, but I'll put it in anyways. But let's see what we can do to make this look like a steering wheel. How many did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully this works out. It should work out. I may have to go back and do more. We want it to end on an uneven, but let's see what we got once we do this. Let's do this and this. Yeah, that's not what we wanted. Okay, let's go back to edges, sorry. And that's why we might have to add one more. It's because when we bring these down, it moves the whole thing, and that's not what we want. I guess we're going to have to go back. Very sorry about that. I hate to have to go back. But again, I make these mistakes live for you realize everybody makes mistakes. So we're just going to go back to our cuts, and we're going to Control R, and we're going to make sure that we end on an uneven number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's perfect because we end up on an uneven that way. If we add 5, we end up with 7. And sorry to adjust, but again, this is something you're going to have to learn to do too, is adjust on the fly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Did I do it again? I think I did do it again. There's 6 there, isn't there? I thought I made 7. Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's for sure 7. Sorry, guys. Alright. So what we're going to do is take every... No. Let's use lines, because otherwise this is going to get all messed up on us, I think. And I don't know if this is going to work out, but I'm really hoping it will. Something like this, okay? Alright, and then we're going to take this one and this one. It's a complicated shape, is why I put all these cuts in it. You're probably going to have to subdivide it when you're done to make them even again. But the reason being is I need to move certain edges certain ways, and we needed this as a possibility basically to be able to do that. Because do we want that, or do we want a round bottom one? Let's shrink it a little bit, see what we got more. Yeah, it's not doing what I need it to do much. I'm going to go down farther with these guys. Yeah, that might be a problem with that middle one there. Let's just erase that one. I changed my mind. I don't need you. And dissolve the edge. Hopefully everything's okay. Okay, it's just where we can go past that line without having a crack turn up in our design here. Something like that. Let me make this more circular. You probably have to just move it around a little bit until you make it look pretty good anyways. Do that maybe. Looks kind of bad. That just looks like a big W. It's kind of the look we want, but not exactly. Maybe if we move this middle panel down, it'll be more what we're looking for. Something like that. I think we got a little bit too much edges, but we're going to try to curve these edges and see what happens. Probably just going to break it, but we'll see. I got to get all whispery because I'm trying something that's kind of sneaky, guys. How's it going to work? I think it worked. It's not too bad. Probably do the same up here. Probably get away with it a little easier up here, though. There's not as much going on up there. Okay. Alright, that's looking a little better. I'm going to try it here. Yeah, that's alright. It's just making it look a little better. Something like this. Okay. Maybe you want to do yours a little different. Up to you, obviously. If you've got a better plan, you do that. I'm just going to go with it. Not made a steering wheel for an airplane before, so this is my version. If I change my mind, or I might redo it a few times later, but this be good enough for now. I think I get the idea. Just move that stuff, eh? I think that's pretty much what I want, though. Oh, yeah? I just had another idea, actually. Maybe if I took this and squished you two together. Yeah. Anyways. I'll stop there. I'm messing with this all day before I get it right. I get a markup, something you can put in place, and then you work on a better one later or something like that. This one's obviously way too big. But that's what she... I won't say it. Alright. Something like this. Obviously, this is just a markup example, so don't get too upset that I'm not that great at Blender and go on about that. I'm not taking the time to design this, and I didn't think about it before. I'm just trying to make do for now to get our design in, right? Shift D. We'll do that, and we're going to have to make some sort of steering column to lead it into our plane. These things are probably going to move, so you're probably not going to want to attach them. Maybe you are. That's up to you. The way that I do things on Unreal is I usually leave the things I want to move free, but sometimes I'll attach them while I'm moving them around and just sizing them and things. Just for, if you have 4 different pieces, you could size them together if they're turned into one. But just before I'm about to use them, I'll just free them after that. So you could drive a hole here if you want. If you like want a cleaner look into your dashboard, just Control D, take that piece after, and then just bool one from the other. Okay, not a big deal though. Oh yeah, as you can see, there's a hole there now though. If you really want it, you can have it. Okay, so I'll probably just attach those for now, and then I can move them in and out together and not have the axis split apart on me. So we got our rudders, we got our steering. Now we probably just need some gauges. If you guys need a real engine for this, Maybe put some request videos, and if enough people comment that they want me to build the engine as well, then I will. But you probably look at my other car video. I did one with a full engine, the whole bit, all the pieces. Probably left a few out, but 99% of the pieces anyways. And you can have a look at that. Or if it's too different, let me know and I'll build an airplane engine that fits in, and we'll go from there. Alright, something like this. Just finding the right angle. So before we copy it or anything, let's do some more work on this. Let's thin it out. It's not sticking so far out. It's not quite at the right angle, so let's try 115. Okay, that's a little better. You might have to toy around here and there to get the exact angle, because we just kind of made an angle for the front. So it's not like it's following a pattern or something. So we'll take this, hit I, go in a little bit. Okay, now we're going to hit E and just go in a little bit. And you might have to hit Y, Z, or X to make sure you're going the right way, but mine happened to line up for me. So I've made a gauge. Okay, what we're going to need to do with the gauges is pretty much just make a whole whack of them, because there's going to be quite a few on an airplane. So we're just going to go Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, Shift D. Okay, and then you can slowly start filling these out. You're going to need airspeed, you're going to need velocity, you're going to need an altimeter, and it's going to tell you your altitude basically. I'm probably saying that wrong, but you get the idea. A couple other gauges, oil pressure, yada yada yada. You get the idea. And what else would there be? Okay, so one thing, we're missing our brakes, so let's make that now. And how we're going to do that, in older planes, they would have a little pin that you would pull, basically. So, pull, oops. I'm going to pull this up. What angle were those at? 115, let's try 115. Is it in the middle? Top. Just to put it on the same angle, right? And that way we make sure we're lined up with their dash. Something like this. We'll pull it off to the one, let's put it off to this side. You put yours where you need to. If you want to put it in a different spot, that's perfectly fine. You do you, is what I always say. It sounds really bad, but it has good intentions. So I'm just giving you examples of how to get there, and like, I'm not taking the time to build it exact, so if you want to change things and make them a little better, I totally understand that. So I'm just going to copy this, Shift D, back that butt up like that, and we're going to hit S, and then we're going to shrink it quite a bit this way, because it's just going to be a knob that we're going to pull up and push in, basically. That's going to put our brakes on, our emergency brake, and lock it on. So you probably want it to look a little better than that, so let's just Control B that edge, and then we will grab the middle piece, just pull it out just a hair. Okay, just to give your switch just a little bit of character, okay, so it doesn't just look like nothing, basically. Something like that. We'll attach them. If you want to put a hole there, Shift D it, grab the dash, and we'll bool it out. Okay. Again, because we have nothing attached, it shouldn't be a big deal. It's only when you attach things to the dash that you start having problems booling. But that way you could push it in, pull it out, have two states, in, out, so you know when your brake's locked and when it's unlocked. We have controls. What else do we need? Let's, I can't take that. I'm going to have to make a new one. Let's do our throttle controls. Just thinking how I want to do this. Yeah, let's use a cube. probably have to end up this video soon. All my videos take too long. You guys get bored, I think, after a while. You're like, give me a break. Let's do this in another part. So I don't want to go too long, but I wanted to get quite a bit done on this, for we're pretty close to done the whole video. Let's try 115. I think that was our magic number. I could be mistaken. Something like that. And let's make a base for our piece. It looks like it's 120. It might be in between those two, actually. What are these ones at? 115. 115. Let's try 117. That's about right. Anyway, it's going to be good enough for me. I shrink this. Okay. And then I'm going to Shift D it before I do anything, because I'm going to need that shape again. But then I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm just going to grab this entire face and Control B. No, I'm not going to do that actually. Let's go to edges here, just to give it not such a square look to it. I can't get that one edge. I'm going to have to move it. I'm hitting caps lock. There we go. Sorry, I'm just going to have to move that because I can't really see that one edge. And we need to grab all these little edges here. Just this one piece. And just round them out a bit. Okay. Just give this a better look. Something like that. Something like this. And we'll back it on up in there. That's better. Looking good. Okay. And then this should be the right angle for us, so we just need to stretch it to the right spots. Alright, good work everybody. We're almost there. Now, Shift D. Oops, that was not Shift D. Did I do anything there? I just undid in case I did something I didn't exactly see what I did. And I don't want to have issues, so I just undid. I'm just going to do this. We're going to take these both, and we're just going to walk them over to the one side like this. And then we're going to Shift D that, and we're going to walk it over to this other side like this. Try to make the gaps the same on both sides. So we're going to make something here, guys. I'll take these two, and we're going to go, nope, just this way. A little farther. Okay, we're going to hollow out a spot where these two are going to move, because this is going to be our throttle controls. We're going to have to move them down a little bit. I can see they're not in the middle. Something like that. Leave enough room for you can write full and like what would it be? Minimum and maximum throttle, whatever you want to do, full, non-full, no throttle, whatever you want to write, but then you'll know your controls when you go to use them because it'll be written on them, right? And you've left enough room to put a little panel in there, hopefully. So these should be perfectly centered on these, so we're just going to grab these two. Grab that. Bool. Difference. And this is why we think things out so far ahead, guys, and that way we didn't run into any troubles doing that, right? I'm going to just go like this. I'm just going to go a little bit like that. Oh no, we can't, because they're going to move. This will do it. We'll Shift D that. And we will move them out a little bit. Okay. Oh, maybe, no, that's fine. That is fine. Shrink them down this way. Okay. And they're pretty much a little tiny square. Okay. And now we're going to have to do them one at a time. Maybe we'll just do one and we'll replace the other one. We'll see. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit Edit with Tab. And then I'm just going to round it off like so. Okay. And pop it on. Get rid of this one, I guess. Shift D this. Bump that over until it's right in position. Make sure it's nice and even. Okay. And what that would be is full throttle. I think you need to mix your oxygen and fuel rate at the same time. If you want to make one, if you want to make one the other, if you want to have two engines, so that way you can do two engines. If you want to do single engine, it's kind of all up to you again. Just going to join them. For when I move them, they move perfectly fine together. I joined them backwards, didn't I? Alright. Just pop that guy in about halfway. Pop that guy in about the same. Okay. Looking really good. Not quite sure what else we're really missing. Probably want to do the same to make a brake, I guess. So maybe we want to, just for now, attach those, and we'll disattach them after when we need to, but Shift D, and then we can go ahead and put the same thing on the other side. We can make one throttle, one brake. But with all our gauges and everything, I think we pretty much made our entire console pretty nice. So probably just go ahead and join them all, as long as I'm happy with all the positioning of everything, which I think I am. So just grab everything for now, and anything I want to disattach, I'll probably just disattach after. But it's all looking pretty good. And I want to do coloring, and it's just going to make coloring a lot easier to have them all attached. So just going around attaching everything now to everything, making the main body of the plane the main piece I'm attaching everything to. So again, there's a lot of little pieces, so make sure you grab them all when you're doing this. Maybe just attach these to the wing like that. Okay. And I know they're going to have to move, but that way you can get them all colored, and then you can just use the selection technique that we've learned so much about to separate them after. Not a big deal. Okay. And it's a little bit of a pain to grab all this stuff, but if you want it made right, you're going to have to put all these details in, otherwise people aren't going to be happy. And if you're doing an art project for your college, your professor's going to enjoy the fact that you took the time to do all this stuff. Always take the time to do it right, is what I say. I'm going to attach those. And if you need an engine, feel free to leave comments, and we'll talk about doing a full engine for it. But keep in mind, that's going to be quite the project, just like the car one was. The car engine series was like 3 weeks, I think, or something like that. So keep that in mind, that it's not something easy you're going to be doing. It's going to be a big project. Just attaching those. I'm going to have to get these guys. Just attaching that to that. And we're almost completely attached. Looks like we are attached now. Oh, just missing one thing. Our legs. Our legs. And we made them out of a whole pile of pieces too, didn't we? Oh, we attached them. Perfect. Alright, so we have our entire plane. If you're missing anything, you'll be able to tell when you move it. See? Looks like we missed a few pieces. Let's make sure we've got them attached. Alright. It looks like there's something over here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Is there anything else in there? I don't think so. Let's move it and see for sure, for we don't leave any pieces behind. Yeah, there's something. Is it this one? Yeah. Alright, anything else? Alright, and that's how you know. When you move it, nothing else is behind, you're good. Go go ahead, we'll go to coloring and we'll finish up this project, guys. Let's start with a cool base color. Let's make it probably not sky blue, that's prone to some accidents. Purple's a little different. I like red, eh? Let's do red. Make sure you're in edit mode, hit assign when you've done. Okay. Then you're going to have to decide on a lot of different color schemes. I'm going to make all these aluminum. So we're going to do next, plus, and I'm going to use gray to represent that for I know my gray color. Or it's just going to leave me a slot in my game anyways. Will be my aluminum stuff though. Right? Just want to, oops, I hit the wrong one there. Just wanted to hit that little piece on there. There we go. That's also aluminum. Maybe I want these to be aluminum. Okay. And probably these lags probably. These bolts. Something like that. And we can just assign them. Like that. Oops. We'll just undo that. And it's going to take a little bit of time to get all this stuff colored the way you want it. But it's going to be worth it because it's going to give it the look you want and make your stuff look real cool. The only way we could have done this a little easier is if we colored it first, like we colored each lag first and then copied them, but it would have really kind of messed up our workflow or our processing of how we were building this plane. Sometimes it's important to do it first because you want to get the look of the plane to kind of, or the look of what you're trying to make as you're doing it, for you don't leave anything out. It'll kind of help, but in this case I feel like we did it the right process. It might be a little bit more work coloring now, but I think it was worth it. I think it was a lot of fun, and I think we got where we needed to go, and it looks really good. So hopefully you agree. I can grab those pieces and color them probably too to the gray. Just make them look like steel. You may have to move them a little bit, it looks like, but I'm just giving you examples, so I'll move mine on my own time when I'm not making you guys watch. Might just be the angle I'm not looking at it too. It's hard to say. Alright, so they're all aluminum now. So sorry, I didn't mean to cough on you guys. Mouth's getting a little dry. It's been a long tutorial. Yeah, you can see it's a little out of place, but I'll move it on my own time because I don't want to make you guys wait. But it's easy enough. You just do it in edit mode. Alright, so we'll do these back ones. We're almost done here. Sorry, guys. I know this is a lot of work at the end. But it's looking really good, and hopefully your game's going to be worth it now. People are going to enjoy it, and they're going to like the look, and it's going to feel more immersive. I don't know what game's going to have a biplane, but maybe you're not making a biplane. Maybe you just needed a way to make a plane. I think I covered enough that you're probably fine, I'm sure. I realize you guys are all intelligent people on your own, and you can just take what I'm doing and convert it to your own idea. And that's why I give so many different examples. I'm hoping it'll help you guys just be like, hey, I could use that on my own project to do something completely different. That's my hope. That's my goal. I want to help. Alright. I feel like there's a lot of really bad games out there right now, and I'd like that to change. I'd like there to be a lot more people making their own games, because I feel like it's going to be good for everybody. As you know, I make games, or I help make games. And I feel like I made something completely different than nobody else would have. And, not any of these big gaming companies, and that's partially what I think is so important. I'm just going to make that a bit darker. or it's a little more stand out against the gray, just so we can see our color difference a bit better. But I think we got it there. So probably the seat's got to obviously be a different color. Click off everything, click L over the seat. Maybe you want to make it like a brownie, I don't know. But again, it's just to represent until you get it in your game. You're going to have to give it all your color slots here if you're able to give them colors later. And click off of it. Oops. So I'm going to do these two. We'll do them black like the other ones. And probably do this gray. Maybe we'll do this black. Something like that. And all these little panels, maybe we'll give them their own colors, because you're probably going to want to do something fancy with them. Fancy dancy. Just go yellow for now, just to give it its own color and make sure we know it has its own color. Steering wheel, same thing. Maybe you want it to be black though. Maybe you want it to be gray, but maybe we'll do our own color. Just for we have a little more customization options. You can still set it the same color once you get in. You're just giving it its own slot. See, I just made it a different shade of yellow. So I'm going to do these two. I'm going to give them their own color because, again, I want to customize them probably. We'll do a really light aluminum color. Okay, and maybe we'll copy that and that. And, oops, lost my plane here. So there's a little piece in here I want to grab at the same time. There and there. Do them all that same color. And then grab these knobs. And we'll give them their own color. Okay. And it doesn't matter what it is. You're just giving them a slot. Make it green. Just give them something different. And if you see anything else missing, go ahead and color it. If you need to make different color panels, if you want to, you could always do things like if you want to make a white streak down the side or down the middle or something, just grab the lines you want to grab. I'll use this as an example. Say we want to, oops, I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Say we want to do this for an example. We just grab where we want to start and control. Okay, add a new color. New. Make it white. Alright, now you got a white belly. So you could do customizations like that too, and then use your colors to make it have certain looks. Could do the wings. We could hit I and put a color on the inside like this if we wanted. You know what I mean? Whatever you need to do to make it more your airplane. Maybe we'll do that just to give it a different look. I'll hit I on this one too. Could have done them together to make sure they're the same, but I don't really care that much. Just giving it something different, right? And we'll assign it that new white too. So now our airplane has a pretty cool color scheme, right? White on red, and obviously when you put them in your game, they're going to be different colors, and they're not going to be so so plain. But again, we just want to have the slots there to be able to put the colors there. Alright, so I think we're going to conclude this airplane one. If you guys are happy, then I probably won't see any comments, but if you're not, tell me what you're after. If you need something a little more high-tech, obviously we can do a second airplane series, and we'll do like a jet plane or something like that. You're going to have to be more specific what you want, though. But let me know, and we'll figure it out from there. And make sure you thumbs up, make sure you subscribe and like, and check out my link to Fishton underneath, my game on Steam, if you want to check it out. You want to tell me about your project, let me know in the comments. Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys.